Avocadata is the first ever data marketplace where you can buy and use data, buy and sell data, and upload your data to sell that data to various people on the platform that we do not have data for. This is one of our white labels that specializes in AI voice dialing. There's a lot of clients that currently need data, and he has set up his white label in a way so that he is able to let his clients log in themselves and download the data. This is a white label version. We can see it is same thing, except for some minor differences. Obviously, the color, the name. What you can do for your customers is you can pre-build lists. So when your customers come into you and they're saying, I can't find cell phone lists, well, you have two options. You can go through your system and show people that, well, if you're looking for consumers, you can click the B2C button. You can flip our switch for cell phones. And if you're looking for people under the age of 70, of the age of 30, you can go up and do that. You can click search, and now your user has the leads they're looking for. You also have the ability to pre-build pipelines for them. So one common thing that people ask for is various types of business-specific leads. There's a lot of ways to find the same data and to find similar data. Custom lists is definitely the best feature for your white label, because you can pre-build these things nice and neat for them, and now they don't actually have to do that filtering. This is how you can find consumers with emails. Either you can do the manual flipping yourself, and when you hit enter, every single record will actually have an email address, removing anything with an NA. Then if we reflip the switch, just to show you the functionality, now you have records that have an NA. So this flip on any of these categories will remove people that have an NA in the field. Now, homeowners and consumers are very similar, with the exception of everyone in this database has a home. And all of the homeowner information is enriched to more B2C information. So most of this B2C information is renters, and this would be the homeowners. So there's about 100 million people in total between renters and homeowners. You would have the flexibility of searching it by the home size, maybe the age range, the purchase year. So right now I'm looking for homeowners that earn or higher income homeowners. And one great way to do that is you can go to the purchase price of the home. So I'm just going to play around with some numbers. I'm going to look who paid $1 million or more for their home. And right in here, we found about 12 million people that paid over $1 million for their home. And it is across the United States. If you wanted to find homeowners that are high income that live in your specific state, I hit on my computer, Command C on a Mac or Control F on a Windows computer, just to type in the field I'm looking for. When I type in state after hitting Control F, I now am able to just click my enter button and bounce back and forth between where it is on the actual table. Just a little trick. So if you want to get back up to the age of the homeowner, well, just type in age, hit the enter button, and now these are all the places where the page says the word age. If you wanted to clean some of the data, this is raw data. All of these records that are in here were hand typed in by the local county tax assessor. I don't know if you live in a big county, small county, but if you live in a small county, think about that woman you meet at the DMV. She's typing this in for the most part. Mistakenly, people type in the wrong age. But if you wanted to clean the data pretty easily, what I recommend doing is just put it at 18. So we lost very few records. There really wasn't many in that age range that was out of bounds. But personally, just to help your clients out, if you're doing a white label, definitely recommend pre-doing some of these filters for them. Why are these homeowners? This database is full of homeowners because the local tax assessor has said that Jaleh M. and Troy pay the taxes on this property in Roswell, Georgia. Within here, obviously they're not 18. This would be considered a tier 2 match. Also, one thing worth noticing is we have not too many filters on. So pretty quickly, why this was enriched to this individual, more likely than not, is because they are the child of the owner, which is used because more likely than not, this person is listed on the cell phone plan of these two owners. Now, one way we can clean some of this out is a lot of the children that are tied to the home of the owner do not have a wireless phone because they are not the primary account holder on the plan. So one way that you can alleviate some of those people, just click the wireless switch, and now you, for the most part, are going to remove a lot of that data. And a good part of this thing is filtering, playing around with it. So we can see old and consistent 18, now it's going up in age 19, so on and so forth. But if you really wanted to not reach anyone that might not be the owner, you could also play with the age range, maybe raise it to 26. And personally, what I always do is I will put a cap on the age range of around 80 because I just don't feel good contacting anyone over the age of 80 by phone. So assuming this is the list you want, you can hit buy, save list. You can type in the quantity you want. When you click buy list, it's going to email this list to your email address. And your email address, if you're unsure what email it's sending it to, in your account section, you can select the email and see it. And if you wanted to send leads to other people, livehuman@ai.com, we can click add email. And when we go back to our search for homeowner leads, you have to do the filters again. And I got 0, but I made a user error. I put in 1 million in purchase year range. So let me re-update that to purchase price range. Assuming I have the filters I want, I can now select the different email to email it to. So after a few minutes, I now got the first spreadsheet, which I'm going to open in Chrome real quick, change the tab I'm sharing. And if anyone has any questions, just raise a hand, pop it in the chat. Hakeem, if you can pop in the calendar for people as well, just so that's there. All right, so we got out to us.
Sorry, I think Kush is here. He could drop in the calendar, yeah, or I'll grab it. I don't know if I have the link, but I'll find it.
So we got our spreadsheet. We have our data. So you'll notice we have our state and we have our phones, landlines, and our emails. And every single record here has a phone number because that is the switch that we click. So once you get the data, you can then decide where to put it. If you're using add caller, like we are here, you will be able to just upload it to your account. And then you will be able to use that software to start your outbound marketing. So I'm going to go switch on back to
posted.
Everything that you purchase, you get permanently. So long as you're subscribed, we act as your cloud, where when you go to your purchase lists, you'll be able to re-access anything that you ever got a hold of previously. If you do have a GoHighLevel account or you're connected to any other agency, you can go to your people icon on the top right, click account, and you would be able to sync your GoHighLevel API key and location ID. And then after you do that, you would be able to go to purchase list and push this list you saved into your GoHighLevel account. The next thing I want to get into is business owners. So this database is actually the Secretary of State records enriched to the officers that are listed on the business. And more likely than not, if it's a small business, medium-sized business, the officers are the owners. You can find nearly every business in this database. There are 2 ways to find industry, one being NAICS code, and then the other being company name. Why company name? Because if you're an accountant, you probably have CPA in your company name. If you're trying to find sole proprietors that are CPAs, I would personally click the number of employees to be under 3 because most CPAs or all CPAs have to be an LLP so they can be sued for negligence if there is any issue. Now, same thing goes with a doctor. What's a doctor? An MD. So we can think of different ways of finding MDs. These are individual doctors. The name of the doctor is the business name, as we see here. And then if we go further down the line, we're enriched to them right here. Then we get the contact information, phone number. And when it comes to filtering businesses, you have quite a few different ways of doing it. So I'm gonna go look for how to find doctors a bit more. So we thought of MD. I'm gonna type in MD again. We get some right here. I don't know what PC is, but what I am learning is maybe PC is possibly, it's health related. So it is doctor related. I personally don't know what PC, personal care, primary care. So just by using company name, we're able to find primary care doctors. And if we wanted to find primary care doctors that have a cell phone, we can flip that switch there. And now we have 20,000 doctors with a cell phone list. I'm going to go select the email to send it to, and I'm going to attempt to save 20,000. But look what happened. My limit is only 1,000. So limit and remaining credits are separate things. The limit is how many can you download at a time. So I'm just going to keep downloading. Don't actually do this. You're going to break the system, and I'm going to slow your account down. But assuming that, you can continue building lists, and you will remove the records that were not originally captured, meaning there's a suppression list built and you cannot download duplicates. The other thing I want to show is if you want to find your doctors, you can go right to find your audience and type in doctors. These doctor lists are pre-built by my account. My agency account is able to pre-do the data as a service in these ways. So what you can do is within your backend, you flip the admin switch. Well, actually, let me pause 1 second. So how do you get to selling the data specifically? So I was just showing you how to get data out of your white label. Let's go into how do you actually start your white label. So every $4.99 account has a data store included. And what the data store is the ability to create a Shopify-like experience for your customers who are looking for data or leads. After doing this for 5 years, only around 10% of people enjoy filtering, me being included. Other 90% want nothing to do with it. The solution to that was, if you are a white label, when you go over to the admin, you're brought into this easy to use setup. So step one to set up your white label would be you have to connect your A-Record to your host. So a host would be GoDaddy, Namecheap, Cloudflare, wherever your domain is living currently. So this is real easy to change. I have a lot of videos on YouTube of how to do that. Just look up DNS change in the YouTube channel. When this is put online, it would now be visible as such. However, there are quite a few people who do not want to use this layout. Not a problem. See, I didn't even do the bottom of this because I have another flexible option I can use in order to customize. So back inside of the white label, there is this standard way to set up the website page. If you were to go to step 5 of website customization, you would be able to directly edit the information that would be on that part of the website. The best leads will save. Just for quick demonstration, we can see it automatically changes. However, you don't have too much customization. If you wanted to do any amount of CSS around this, you could. ChatGPT or Claude to help quickly build some of these websites for you. Over on custom website pages, you can from scratch rebuild new pages. These pages are accessible by typing in the domain /page/ any of these landing pages you can redo entirely. And the best way that I would do it is through Claude, like I said. So this looks intimidating. It really isn't. So what you can do is, if you have a template already, or if you just ask Claude to build you a template, you can quickly create some new designs. So one of my favorite things to do would be redo this, but make it feel like iOS. I think Apple did a great job with that. So we'll use that as inspiration. And while that is going on, we'll go and click Add Page. While we're waiting for Claude to do some of its stuff, actually, I'm not going to pay attention to that. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to go take a look at some other pages that we did, just to see what I think we've done right so far and what we haven't. This is one that was more so basic, going from very, very, I don't want to say detailed, that's not the word, aesthetics, overwhelming, to something much more basic. This was another similar version, except now we put some pictures in here. If you wanted to use any of these specific pages that are not the home page, you would simply need to go to the forwarding section of your host. Let's say it's GoDaddy. And you would have to select this page URL, the address, to be the forwarding address of your white label. Not difficult, sounds like a lot, but truly it isn't. If you have any questions, you can always book a call with us and we will help you with that directly. But while Claude, I'm not going to waste too much time on building the website page, but I'm going to let Claude do some of its stuff in the background. Now, getting back to setting up your white label. So the white label, we are converting into something called a data store. Earlier in the discussion, I was talking about these custom lists because it's a bit difficult for users to constantly figure out NAICS codes. One way that works well is, like I said, pre-building these lists. I use Gemini real quick, and I'm just going to ask you to create a list of 150 sets of NAICS codes that would be bundled in lead. So currently we have like amusement parks and arcades, securities and commodity contracts, intermediation businesses, because this is what people ask for. A very common one people ask for is Spanish homeowners. So if you're looking for homeowners that speak Spanish, for instance, you would be able to go to menu and lead search, then homeowners, which is HO. One way that I have found best to actually get the Spanish speakers is we have two filters right here, and this is off of the census of the percentage breakdown of a neighborhood. What I found is if you put the limit to 10 for black and the limit for 10 to white, meaning no more than 10% and 10%, you were left with primarily Latino majority neighborhoods, because the only option is Asian, and there's really not that many neighborhoods in America that are majority Asian. And also, just by doing those two, these are the only two filters we did. And just by doing those two filters, using some logic, almost nearly all of these last names are Hispanic in one way or another, even without actually specifically looking for it. So the other thing, if you didn't want to do this because you didn't know how, because there's a custom list built, you can just look up Spanish-speaking homeowners. We found 13 million, and what we can do is now we can filter this side. So after you pre-select a find your audience, it's not pre-filtered with cell phone or email. So if we take a look, we have our missing fields. So what you can do is you can flip the email required switch after you select your find your audience, click enter. We're left with 6 million records of Spanish speaking homeowners from our assumptions that are in this list. The list that you are having difficulty figuring out, just contact us, because we can pre-build these products, like I said, for you. So if you came in and you then asked me for framing contractors, or we'll do lawyers. So you're asking me for lawyers. Actually, I already did lawyers. It's not going to work. Let me see what Gemini said of ideas. Okay. So these are all over the place. Bakery, manufacturing, breweries. Consolidate 5 groups of NAICS codes that can be used for manufacturing and warehouse. That's a common thing people ask for. Can you help me find owners of warehousing or owners of distribution and logistics companies? That is a very, very common one. And this would be an instance where I would recommend using the custom list selection, so that way you don't miss anything. So if you were building the custom list, you are able to use multiple codes at the same time if they're comma separated. So I'm going to instruct Gemini to comma separate the sets of the NAICS codes, because then it's just going to be easier for you and your user to, so food and beverage production plus cold chain. So if you had a customer coming in looking for beverage and food manufacturing and distribution, you would either have to instruct them to do the filters by going to dashboard, businesses. I do command F or control F, and now I'll type in and paste these sets of NAICS codes. And we found 7,753. So either you would need to research this on your own, or you would need to meet with somebody to figure out what is the best way to find it. Or as a backup option, I can make a data product for you. Go to B2B, pre-select these NAICS codes, and I'm going to take the name that Gemini gave me, select get count. You'll see we get the same exact count as before, create list. And when we go back, we now have this list and it is equal to what we searched. And like the other list, if we wanted to make sure this list of food and beverage owners, production owners, have a cell phone, we can go up to our switches on the very top and flip the cell phone switch. And I also, again, like I keep saying, owner age, I like to cap it. I like to put a limit, upper and lower limit. So now I'm left with 4,589 people that are in the appropriate age I'm looking for with a cell phone and that own a food and beverage production company. So what if you're looking just for any business owner? Let's say you do business lending, merchant cash advance, or anything that involves necessity. So there's 2 different types of sales, I say. There's the people that are selling something everyone needs at any time, and then there's the stuff that people don't need that you're trying to push on them. So I talk, MCA is the easiest, money. Everyone needs money if they don't have money, and most people don't have money. especially business owners. What I have found works best for finding merchant cash advance leads and basically any type of business lending is the business database. And I will almost always select people with lower amounts of employees. And another candidate that typically purchases merchant cash advance sales that is looking for a merchant cash advance is restaurant. And if we go onto your Find Your Audience, we have a pre-built list of restaurants and eating places. If I was someone who did MCA, I would filter this list, and being I do a lot of telemarketing, I would click the cell phone required, unless with 17,000 records of small businesses that are restaurants with less than 5 employees. And now that I said that out loud, I'm going to remove the 5 employees. So we have 98,000 records actually. So this list is excellent for people that do group insurance, because group insurance requires more employees. So what I would do if I'm trying to generate group insurance leads with this software, I would go to my number of employees section and I would just increase it to 20. Let's just get an idea of who has a lot of employees. And we find that we have 35,000 restaurant owners with 20 or more employees, and this would be an excellent list that I would use for group insurance, or even some type of, like originally when we started this, we were looking for business lending. This would be another great candidate because they have revenue. If they have 35 W-2s, they have to obviously have business to some degree to keep those W-2s earning some type of revenue through tips and their moderate salary. What if you want to find people who are business owners that only have an email? So you could go to Find Your Audience, you can look up email, and we already have a list of business owners that are filtered by email. So instead of having to pre-do your email switch, you can go to Find Your Audience, pre-select the email list of business owners, and then you can start filtering. So company name we started with, I'm going to do roofing. And I find 4,176 roofing companies that have an email pre-done. And by roofing companies, we're talking about roofing being in the name. If we wanted to find the roofing companies based on the NAICS code, I would ask Gemini. NAICS code for roofing contractors is 238160, and there's actually more categories than I originally thought. We're going to kind of separate it. Although you might not be looking for asphalt, shingle, and coating materials manufacturing, it's very possible that Jimmy, when he set the company up, put the wrong number down. Happens often. All human error. Now that we have these codes, I am going to do 2 things. I'm going to go pre-build this list for you by going to, once again, custom list, B2B, NAICS code. Let's call it roofing companies. And I'll just use different tags of words so that way when you're searching for it, you can find it more easily. And we have 11,962 in this specific filter range. You now would have 2 ways of getting the database of the roofers. You go over to menu, lead search, business. We can go type in roofing. Got our roofing companies right here. And if we wanted to build a list of roofing company owners, I'm going to go put the age to 80 because they work a little bit longer. Not swinging hammers and stuff, but they're involved. So after doing that, I'm still left with 10,000 business owners. If we wanted to enhance the list a little bit more, we can go off and switch the cell phone and mobile button. After all said and done, we have 7,836 business owners of roofing companies. And I'm going to go save 500 of these for my AI dialer. And you can name it anything you want. The email will send to you with the name of the file that you chose, so you can easily find it in your address box. And if you wanted to make custom plans for your white label, you are able to do that. So this gentleman on livehuman.info only has one plan, 10,000 credits a month, $229 a month. Maybe he chose to do a free plan, because free plans are awesome for 2 reasons. A, you're not going to have that many pissed off people at you because they don't have to worry about it being a trial and getting rebuilt. It builds some type of trust, I found. So after offering the $0 plan, about 35% of everybody puts a credit card in. So now we know those are the people we should be contacting for leads, because they are the most interested and they definitely have the highest intent, and they already have some type of trust with us, and it's going to be a little bit easier to talk with them because they put a credit card in. So it's just a very good filter for you to decide who you should be focusing a lot of your time on. And another reason why I definitely recommend doing it in that type of way, you have the ability to track everything that the user is looking for. So if you were to go to pricing offers, customer search history, and you wanted to find what somebody was looking for, you would be able to look up any of the records, your users, and get a full history of what they're doing. So when your user has a free account, it's not free in terms of for them, it's free for you to constantly get updates of what they're trying to buy. And as a result, so these are the searches I just did previously. Now I know if I was to go see this free user, he's looking for high income homeowners. Let me go set up an email chain maybe that matches this type of search. And consequently, I can now put them in a new email funnel in my GoHighLevel to retarget them. The data collects data. Why is Facebook free? Because they collect data on you and they know what to reach out to you about. Think about it the same way, using the same exact tools that they have available to them, except in this instance, it is for you. So I want to jump back over to our Claude that we were working on a couple of minutes ago. Claude did its thing, made it a bit cleaner, a little bit shorter. So what I can do real quick is on my white label agency for Avocadata, you can go over to custom website pages, add page. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just name it Home 2. When you make the pages, you do not need to put a // If you do put a // it is not going to work. You can preview any of the pages in advance. And if this page is something you like, you can click create page. But one thing I want to do is I want to create a page, explain what you can do after you do one page here is you can interlink different pages. Types of leads, I think would be a good page to do. So we have this home page that we did earlier. I want to create a section called types of leads. So I'm going to look, where can I do this? Use cases, features. So use cases. So this looks intimidating. It really isn't. And what you can do is I'm just going to go paste in the URL that we were using. So it's data.livehuman.info /page/home-2. And then don't forget your HTTPS. So I'm going to go save this again. And when I just want to make sure it worked, I go click on my use cases. I typed in the URL wrong. So that's a quick thing to fix. But this was the right URL. This is now our home page for our white label. I added the use cases to over here. Now, if you wanted to build out more and more pages about use cases, you would be able to do that. And what I'm going to do for this page specifically, there's a lot of templates of websites on Google, especially with Gemini. You have a very strong ability to do quite a lot of customizations. So I like the design of this, frankly. But what I'm going to ask it to do is take a previous page that we built, and I'm going to ask it to remove anything for lead source and replace with everything live human. I'm probably going to have to prompt that twice. We built in what you can do easily is if you wanted to direct people to your pricing page, buttons work wonders. So now all those buttons describing all those types of leads end up going specifically to this pricing page. So I'm building a little funnel through the custom website pages to get them to click on the specific leads they're looking for, which all redirects to this existing sign-up plan that you can put your customers on that can pay you. So I'm going to go let this finish.
Hi, Brian. Thank you. Same here. The only question that I had was, are the audiences blank until we start building out our list?
Yes, they're blank. So the custom lists are blank, and you would actually have to, within your white label, there's two ways to build custom lists. There's first way, and this way customizes any of the databases that are on menu lead search. The custom databases, such as business professionals, you would have to go to the agency in Avocadata, and on the left-hand side, click Marketplace. And then there's another custom list section in here. These custom lists would be from the business professional database. So the same logic before with the business owners, except now we can do it with business professionals and different filters that are available there. And there's another thing that by next week, it should be ready to go, where you can create a data store. This isn't the data store. This is your personal experience for your user. Like I was saying in the very beginning, 90% of people are totally freaked out by this. In the next couple of weeks is going to be coming out is the data store, where same thing as the custom lists, except now your users are going to be able to pay you directly just for this list. So if we wanted to call it barber list of emails, I didn't create categories on this white label yet, but you would have to create categories, and you would be able to do the same type of custom list, except now the data store will actually let you have checkout products. So it's currently down, but I want to pull up the video quickly just so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is the data store that we call. So this was going to be your Shopify, where when users log in for the very first time to your white label, this button, unlock database, is going to go to your data store. So we're doing the final touches on it. Final touches are just deploying it. And also when that is finalized, you can start preparing by going to the data store white label and setting up another subdomain. So in most instances, I would just do store, right? Store. So that way people can just navigate back and forth. So anything they buy in the store is going to end up in their data stores, which obviously isn't deployed yet, but these data stores are going to be the actual list that are inventoried like products. Yeah, exciting time. It's been 3 years, but I'll just show you my account quickly. So you can make all these specific data store products and you can assign them to specific users, which would be them actually buying them from you. And you can change the name, change the picture of each type of data that you're doing. You can start making your own logos, so you can start branding it. I'm going to be using a lot of avocados, and then you can sell it to your users. So obviously they would still have to sign up like before. However, now instead of them doing all the filtering, they can just pay and check out immediately to buy a custom list and pay you directly for it versus paying for credits first and then filtering it. So it's removing the whole filtering necessity. So yeah, I mean, let's wrap this up. If any questions, we'll keep them coming for the next 10 minutes if anyone has any. All right, so that's a lot of everything I had to show. One other thing I want to drop real quick. We do have Datagus fully up and running, where you can quickly generate leads in quite a few different ways. It's 3 steps. You click on your Generate Quick Leads button, draw a custom polygon, and you can quickly filter leads you're looking for just by drawing a polygon. Different times of the day, the API gets overloaded, so don't be alarmed if you see some alerts here. But that's going to start finding all the homeowners in this area. So we found 9,975 already, just in one chunk. And while that's chunking out, we'll see what the Ronnie's note taker sent a summary. Thank you, Ronnie, note taker. I didn't mean to select 58,000 addresses. This is where do they go through? They go through Philadelphia, Lancaster. That has people in it. But after all said and done, you can click load the funnel, area selection. This too, we're gonna, for a limited time, if you sign up for the $4.99 plan before the end of the year, this will be included with Avocadata as your data store. This is not going to be a white label immediately, but this will be a tool for you to build data stores in your white label, if that makes sense. So now you would be able to pre-build new data bricks in your white label and sell these to people. All those lists you build, you can end up creating as databases within your white label as well. And we'll go over that next week because we're running out of time now. Hey, Keem, you want to wrap it up for us? I'm going to drop the calendar. I see there's a lot of people in here. Let me give you guys the calendar link. Definitely book a time with us. You'll meet with either Kush or Noemi. And we've got good deals. We have a 50% off our annual deal where you get December totally free and then all of 2026. So instead of $6,000, it is $3,000 currently for Black Friday. So don't miss out on that. That's definitely not doing deals like that anymore. A lot of our price has been going up and we figured out our value. So I'm going to go get this link and drop it in the chat.
Sorry, what's the price for a regular individual marketer that just wants to use this, not white label it? Is there anything proposed on that?
Yes. So there are retail plans, we call them, and they are $129 and $229. So still 1 penny a lead or less. And this goes down to half a penny, and then this goes down to 1/10 of a penny. But yeah, you have these 2 plans here. And I would say do the free one first. It's not a trial, meaning it's not going to charge you after a certain amount of time. You can download 3 feeds a day, and you'll be able to browse through all the databases that exist at that moment as well.
I tried the free trial like a long time ago. I tried it the other day, and my email address says there's no more free trial or something.
So if you you should be able to if you were to go to the $0 one again and then just put your card in, it should reactivate it for you. If not, just an appointment and we can manually turn it back on. So you can. Been a lot of changes since a long time ago. So
yeah, for sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's next week. All right, guys. Well, I definitely appreciate everyone's time. We had a good group this week. Keep coming back. Now we've been slowing down the webinars because we were holding a lot of changes to consolidate it, test it, make sure it's all working. And this is the time. It's all coming together. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming, and I will see you next week.